Hey guys, it's Sam, back with a new video. Today, we'll be doing another breakdown of some Bible verses. I'm going to do Ecclesiastes 1 through 15-ish. I break down the parts that go together because some of it's repetitive sometimes or something like that, where it says, God is your rock, God is your fortress. So if I only say God is your rock, then makes sense. So in this verses, it starts out with saying there is a season for everything on earth. God has made everything, a time for everything in your life. A couple examples would be like a time for every activity under heaven. Time for every activity on earth. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to tear down, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to cry, things like that. If you want, you can pause the video right now and read 1 through 8, Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8, because it has all the examples of the writer put in examples about a time for everything on earth, things like that. So after he talks about a time under heaven for everything, he goes on and is still talking about the subject. He says in verse 11, "Yet God has made everything beautiful for its own time." I did an Instagram post. If you're following me on Instagram, it's more of like my private account. I'm thinking about doing a YouTube account, doing reminders and little messages and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, and I talked about how this verse, God's made everything beautiful in its time. I think it's more than just making a plant beautiful in its time and stuff like that. I feel like it's more like knowing that ourselves are beautiful in its own time. So, a couple years ago, I'll give you an example. I didn't have much self-love for myself, and I'm still struggling with it, right? But then God gave me a kind of intervention thing and was like, "Sam, you're beautiful. You're really beautiful. God loves you." And I was like, whoa. So in its time, God showed me that I am beautiful and I'm loved. So I feel like that'll happen for everyone. When they find out, hey, I'm actually loved, I'm actually beautiful, and I'm perfect in God's image. Yeah. But other things too. God has made your marriage beautiful in its time. God has made a friendship beautiful in its time. God has made your school, the school you go to, the way you feel about your school, beautiful in its own time. And he goes on and says, God has planted eternity in the human heart. But even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end. So even though we have eternity in heaven, we can't grasp the feeling that God's got me, God has a plan. We think more, I want it now. I feel like a lot of us struggle with patience. I know I do. Patience that God will do it in the right time, that God will heal in the right time, that God will make you happy again, that God will show you peace in the right time. We always want it now, but if we all want it now, then we'll never have it when our times are rough, and we'll never see God's glory and love and things like that. And he ends with, so what we need to do is take away all of our anxiety, and that there's nothing better than to be happy and enjoy ourselves as long as we're here on earth, and love God and enjoy God and spread his love and be a light and stuff like that. Because God's got a time for everything, so we don't need to be anxious. He's got a plan and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then he ends with that we should all fear God, because God has all power, all responsibility for us, and He's the one that controls our lives, really. So, we shouldn't have fear in Satan. We should have fear in God, because God can conquer Satan. Yeah, God's got a plan. He's made everything beautiful in its time, and we should fear Him and know that He's all powerful. So yeah, I really like doing these little breakdowns of multiple verses, because I know that when I started reading the Bible, when I still do read the Bible, I'm so confused sometimes. So I either talk to someone that's older than me, wiser than me, or has been a Christian for longer. My dad knows a lot about the Bible, talk to him a lot, and my mom. And I go on Google or YouTube and things like that and have other people break it down for me that's engulfed themselves in the Word and really understood what He meant. Especially Ecclesiastes, because it's a confusing book, and it talks a lot about things that we would think are against the Christian religion, or just, the faith in God. But really, once you break it down and see what He's actually meaning, instead of what our human minds make it seem like He's meaning, it's really cool. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully this gave you some insight on what this guy was talking about, and that we should all be patient and know that God's got our backs. Okay. Bye. Jesus loves you.